This is Praise Drive.
Of course, this Praise Drive. My name is KKRP. This is the point, the time that we've been waiting for. Already my guest is seated, as I just told you a few minutes ago, and is one of the guys that I want to talk about. Is one of the petitioners of the BBI, and of course, the ruling everybody almost knows, but we'll just get in the nitty-gritties of this because it's right here in the studio. Welcome, Khelef Khalifa.
Thank you very much.
How you doing?
Not bad.
Sorry for the traffic.
No, it's okay.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
Now, let's get to the nitty-gritties because we got like just 45 minutes or so to do this. But I just want to get it from the horse mouth because you're one of the guys who petitioned the High Court on this BBI stuff.
Yes.
First of all, tell me, what was the compelling reason why you guys petitioned the High Court on this?
Okay. We're all aware that we have a new constitution that was promulgated in 2010.
Exactly.
The constitution, one of the best constitution. In fact, the Bill of Rights, we can say it's one of the best in the world.
Yes.
This constitution, it has not been implemented fully.
Yeah.
To date.
Exactly.
There are a lot of good things that I think you remember Maraga on this two-third gender rule.
Yes.
He said, well, the close of the parliament.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So that constitution is not yet implemented.
Implemented fully.
So now they are trying to get, because of this handshake, to come with something that we suspect to accommodate these five big tribes.
Yes.
You see, Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, President, Deputy President, and all those kind of things. It's just to give leeway to others to join so they can win the elections.
Yes.
And that does not go well. By the way, I am a very good friend of Raila Odinga.
Yes, I know.
I was also part of Okoa, Kenya.
Yes.
When the issue of increasing counties from 15 to 35%. That was very good for us. And we fought it, but it didn't go anywhere. Now, for them to try to meddle with this constitution, we say no.
Khelef, when I get you back to the core issues that are really compelling in this BBI. Oh, listen, it has a lot of good stuff, right? But what exactly was it about? What people look at is about the executive part of this. What about the other good stuff for this? Because I think a lot of us know there are also good stuffs in it.
Look.
Yes.
If you ask me if I've read the BBI,
yes,
I will tell you, no, I didn't. Now, let me tell you.
Yes.
The process.
Exactly.
The process is very, 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 very important.
Yes.
You know, you cannot go to university and obtain your PhD if you didn't start a nursery school, primary school, secondary school, college, and all this.
Yes.
You see, that process is very, very, very important.
Yes.
And this process was not followed. Now the constitution is very clear.
Yes.
It says who can change the constitution. Okay, first.
Yes.
It is wananchi.
Yes.
Second, it is parliament.
Yes.
Now, also parliament, you know, there is kizingiti.
Yes.
They said, no, you have kushirikiana na watu.
Yes.
Public participation.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, when these two principles, especially the president, come in and says, okay, we want to change this constitution. And then he form commissioners.
Yes.
He appoint commissioners. He gazetted all of this. You see? And then at the tail end, he gives it to Aweru and Junaid Mohammed. He says, okay, now you take it. They said, no, it is us.
Yes.
You know, Kenyans are not stupid.
Exactly.
And we said no.
No.
That is not the one. Now, prior to that, we as MUHURI, we wrote to IBC. Now, you want to make this... we particular went to the issue of signature.
Yes.
And we asked IBC, do you have electronic? Because, you know, counting over 1 million, 3 or 4 million signatures, it's not a joke.
Yes.
You know, to know this signature is correct or not, it needs an expert. But now electronically, it can easily pick up.
Yes.
And the IBC says, we don't have. And
They don't have the powers and the process of how to verify signatures.
Then you say, okay, if you don't, then you can't. For second, Parliament did not set up laws to guide that.
Yes.
Now, let's say they are counting this, signatures and names. If something goes wrong, where do you go from there?
Yes.
They have to set up laws to guide.
Yes.
There is nothing. Parliament didn't do anything for all these years. Okay? And then we said, no, you're not ready to do that. Okay? So for us, the process is very, very important.
Yes.
And then there is issue of, first of all, they have to take these changes to Wananchi.
Yes.
You are very aware they took it to counties, then they took it to Parliament and Senate.
Yes.
And they told them, read it, approve it, but you can't
change anything.
Not even a comma.
Yes.
So what is the point of debating something and you cannot change it?
Yes.
Okay? And then they say, no, there's something wrong. And then it comes the issue of, the judge says, Omeongwa, 2 million grant. You see, the timing is suspect. Maybe they have a good intention, but the timing is suspect. So I don't think these changes, it is good for Kenyans.
Yes.
If you don't follow the process, then you're out.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, even the High Court themselves, they pronounced themselves very well that the process was not good. So there was a violation of Article 255, 257, and 256.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, what did this do to the constitutionalism? The ruling of the High Court, what did it do to the constitutionalism?
You see, the High Court pronounced a lot of things.
Exactly.
There. And some of them, Court of Appeal did not agree with them. Few of them.
Yes.
But majority, they did agree with them. Okay? The only thing that I was not happy, that you cannot... if he violated the Constitution, so nobody is above the law.
Yes.
Okay? If he violated the Constitution, nobody is above the law. I will give you the example.
Yes.
Public participation has a meaning.
Yes, and it is enshrined in the Constitution.
Enshrined in the Constitution. Uhuru Kenyatta, the president.
Yes.
With the SGR.
Yes.
We're not opposing of the SGR, but what we're opposing, telling importers that all the containers has to be destined to Naivasha.
To Naivasha dry port.
Okay. So Mombasa port, a natural harbour, it becomes a transit.
Yes.
It's no longer a harbour.
A harbour.
Because once the containers offloaded from the ship, goes to the SGR all the way to Nairobi. The port is a lifeline, not only in Mombasa County, but the whole of Coast Province.
Exactly.
Now, taking away economic lifeline for one county, for the benefit of other counties, that is against the Constitution. And the president was wrong.
Yes.
Okay. We went to court. Okay. They appealed. The appeal court
floated.
And they went back again and asked for, the court gave them 180 days. And and all of this.
Yes.
So we also went back to court. We said, now we want to know the contract.
Yes.
What's that contract about?
Contails.
Okay. They held it in their chest. When I say my initiary, we said no.
Government to government dealing.
It says as long as taxpayers' money are being used, we have the right to know.
Right to know.
So the case is coming next month.
Next month.
Yes.
Now, having that, the court pronounced itself that the president can be sued on a private capacity and official capacity.
Yes.
Are you guys got nuts to do that?
Why not? Remember last general election, me, myself, and John Jomue.
Yes, I remember.
We represented the civil society. We went to court and stopped the swearing in of the president, mind you.
Yes, I remember. We did. I remember.
Even for 60 days.
Yes.
Lakini tulistopisha.
Exactly.
Why we did that? because the second election was even muddier than the previous one. Because they wanted to show that they have cumulated 8 million votes.
Yes.
Okay? But on all statistical data
show,
it shows it's about 3.5 million. Okay? So they inflated. And we had a very good case. But we knew that it will be a daunting task for Supreme Court to annul two presidential elections within 60 days. Hapa tuliona kidogo itakuwa ngumu.
Mr. Khalifa, something always goes in my mind and always disturbs my conscience. Are you afraid of your life at times?
You see, many people, I don't know, because I'm not breaking the law.
Exactly. Yes.
As long as I'm not breaking the law, there is nothing I can fear. I will only fear if I break the law.
Yes.
You know, when sued the president for that election,
exactly.
When I came back to Mombasa, almost every other people meet me in the street. Watakuwa. And then they said, what did I do wrong?
Yes.
I didn't do anything
followed
wrong.
The law.
In fact, Uhuru himself, he said, ikiwa muna nini, mnaweza kwenda kotini.
Yes.
And we went to court. So what? No, I don't think, I think people, they have this fear which it's
unnecessary
nowhere.
and misplaced.
It's unnecessary.
You know, the reason why I'm asking you that is because BBI got lots of stakes. You know, I've been watching this since the Court of Appeal pulled this down. And there's a certain kind of bitterness we're going to, because this, you know, I saw one of the chairperson, Junaid Mohammed, saying, you know, the petitioners are paid from Karen. Mr. Khalifa, can you give me some few bucks in case?
You know, we were a lot of
petitioners, yes.
And we followed up these things way back, almost 3 years now.
Yes.
Okay. And I didn't want myself even to get close to people who are close to the vice president. Let me tell you, we act independently.
Yes.
Okay, and our issues were totally different to their issues. Nobody's paying us.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
And I also remember we went to court on the issue of presiding officers and their deputies, because the Election Act, it says that the IBC must provide names of presiding officers and their deputies 2 weeks before election to parties which are participating in the election. You know what? You know why they did that? Because previously, you know, the ruling party, you know, they put NIS people inside, police officers, to main polling stations.
Yes.
Now they said, no. Give them the names so they can check the list.
Check and
they
verify.
didn't do that. So what we did, we filed the case here in Mombasa. And then they transferred the case from Mombasa. They sent it to Nairobi. Then it happened. Odunga was the one presiding.
Yes.
Okay. And then IBC brought their lawyers, Attorney General and ourselves. And Odunga set up a ruling on 25th. Mind you, 26th was an election.
Yes.
Okay. By 11 o'clock, our lawyers and their lawyers and everybody was at court. And Odunga said that the presiding officers and the deputies are there illegally.
Legally.
But he did not cancel the gazettement of the election.
Yes.
But on the other side, if you're telling them they're illegal, so who is going to run the elections without them?
Yes.
So that's a catch-19. Now, by evening, we just had boom on the radios, pop, that Court of Appeal
President Kiara Kariuki did
impaneled 3 bench judges.
Yes.
And then when you look at the judges, it was Githinji,
Martha
Martha Koome, and Fatma Sishale.
Yes.
And none of these 3 were based in Nairobi.
Exactly.
Okay? And then we say, hapa kuna ukora. Now, then we ask, when did IBC appeal? Because appealing to Court of Appeal is not a joke.
It's not a joke. I know that.
Okay?
Yes.
Now, by the way, on the 24th, CS internal
Matiang'i.
he pronounced 25th will be public holiday.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, I remember that.
Now, Maraga, Chief Justice, he said yes. But the ruling for the election will be on.
Yes.
So the case went on. And I don't know what happened, but there was no registrar.
Yes.
Because appealing, Court of Appeal, this is also a process.
It's a process, yes.
You have to take it to registrar, and then the registrar send it all the files to duty judge. Duty judge will certify if the case it warrants to go to
agency, yes,
or not.
Or not.
And none of them were in office that day.
Because it was...
Now, in the interview, the Chief Justice, when Martha Koome said, there would have been constitutional crisis. And we said, it is better
to have
a constitutional crisis than going to a fraudulent election.
Yes.
It would be better to have constitutional crisis rather than going to fraudulent elections.
And this is where I bring my point, because I saw your piece that you wrote about the nomination and the hurried appointment of the current Chief Justice. And the reason why I'm saying that is right now, Attorney General Kihara Kariuki, supported by the committee led by Junaid Mohammed and Dennis Waweru, are going to the Supreme Court to appeal the ruling of the Court of Appeal.
Yes.
And I can remember you raised your discontent with the way the appointment was done, with the way vetting was done to Martha Koome. And right now, the same case is going before. Your suspicion and your fear is being confirmed. Talk to me about this.
So now, look, government doesn't care. Let me tell you. All those bunch of lawyers that you saw them defending the government.
Yes.
Those guys have been paid millions of shillings.
By the taxpayers.
Our money.
Yes.
Sometimes I tell my colleagues, I tell them, look, we are shooting in our own foot. We go against the government. Government doesn't give a damn. We'll appoint the lawyers.
Exactly.
Make us pay for those lawyers.
You lose, you gain.
Exactly. But let me tell you, this constitution is very, very clear. You violate the constitution, we don't go for the government. We go for you personally. You. Now I'm telling you, we are about to write to them. We want to know how much money has been spent for this BBI. And who authorized it? By the way, who authorized it? If now they're starting and said, no, this is not a government initiative, this is not presidential initiative, it's Junaid Mohammed, then who authorized money from the treasury to pay?
From where you sit, the case is now going, it's very obvious that they're going to Supreme Court, right? What are your chances, or what's the chances of the Supreme Court overturning the ruling of the two courts?
0.
Why?
0. I'm telling you, 0.
Because the grounds where they're going on around 3 grounds. They're saying that the application includes of the basic structure doctrine, remit of constitutional amendments by popular initiative, and presidential immunity. My fear is the last 2 is of no importance, but the presidential immunity is the fact of the matter here.
Let us see. The Constitution also, it says nobody is above the law. It means not even the president himself.
Yes.
So what we are saying, let them take it to Supreme Court. Okay? We're there. We'll fight it back. We'll fight it.
Yes.
Okay? And, we know that there are Supreme Court justices, some of them who are pro the system, but not all the judges are pro the system. And we have seen out of 7 judges,
yes,
okay, only one who had dissenting grounds.
Yes,
almost everything, he dissented.
She trusts. Yes.
Okay, now you can tell, because if I bring any case to court, then I go before Sishale. I will walk out.
Exactly.
I will walk out. Let me tell you.
You will file for.
No. I won't dare.
But Khalifa, do you think these guys, the Court of Appeal, overstretched their mandate in the ruling?
You see, the High Court, you know, people said, well, it's to me, it's watertight.
Yes.
Some lawyer says it's a very good judgment, very good. But to me, it was watertight.
It was watertight.
Okay. Some other things about impeaching the president, that is, you can take him to court. You know, some of these are a bit political. Political in nature, because judges also, they have to be a bit careful.
Oh, of course, yes.
You see, but in law, if somebody breaks the law, that person can be impeached.
Yes.
He can be impeached.
There's provision of the same.
Nixon, he was impeached.
Exactly.
Because, you know, Watergate, you know, they made surveillance on the democratic, only that, it costed him his presidency.
His presidency.
Yeah. So nobody is above the law. So we said if president disobey the law, then
he has to face
the
full throttle of the law. I want to get out of this, but one thing that stands out for you in the ruling of the Court of Appeal and ruling of the Supreme Court on the constitutionalism of all this. What one thing that stands out for you?
Let me tell you. Forget about the Constitution.
Yes.
The judges to have that courage.
Exactly.
To me, that's more than enough. Now, if I have a case against the government, if I go to court, I know there are judges that can rule according to the law. Okay? To me, it's more than anything that I can ever think of. Because sometimes you can have a very good case, and these guys can just play you around.
Exactly.
So, but now, you know, from ruling in this BBI, it's almost 13 judges.
Yes.
From Court of Appeal and High Court.
High Court.
You know, for people like John Oeru and Junaid Mohammed to come and said, they are wrong. Oh, my friend.
Do you think this was judicial activism?
No, absolutely not.
Because if you listen to Justice Kiage, he was very forthright.
Yeah.
He was striking.
Yeah.
He was not beating around the bush. He really struck it hard. So many felt like the ruling of the High Court, first of all, and partially the ruling of the Court of Appeal, is all about judicial activism and revisiting as per the president's word.
I don't think that is a payback, let me tell you. If you're talking about activism, you know, the whole government is activists.
Yes.
It's as former Chief Justice Willie Mutunga, when they said he's an
activist.
Activist, he says everybody's an activist. You see, everybody's an activist.
Yes.
Okay? For good or for bad.
Yes.
Okay. There are activists who are corrupt. You know, there are activists who wants to maintain the rule of law.
Exactly.
And fighting for it and fighting for the benefit of the people. Okay. But I don't see in you see they rule it according to the law and the Constitution, and that's very, very important to us. And let me repeat it again: they are very courageous.
Very courageous.
Very courageous. To me, that's more
for jurisprudence. The record is set.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the scholar's gonna learn a lot from
we
this.
don't, you know, I will slip, slip. I don't think even if they go to Supreme Court,
they won't get it.
We'll beat them again.
And right now, the constitutional implementation oversight committee in Parliament are bringing up recommendations for a review of the Constitution, because there's some administrative articles in the BBI that can pass through Parliament. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, they can do it. They can go ahead. But once they violate the Constitution, we have the courts.
Yes.
Okay? Parliament or executive, it is not final. It is not final. Okay? If they injured us, we resort to court cases. We go back to court. No matter what they do, we go back to court. Because the Constitution gave us that mandate.
The mandate
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
Now, when there's some gray areas in this ruling, and that's why I feel the Attorney General need to go back to the Supreme Court so the Supreme Court can set some issues here straight. Because right now, if I go to court to challenge the presidency right now, because court gave me authority to do that, then this is going to be detrimental for the Constitution.
Okay, you see, what the Court of Appeal pronounced, it says if you have a civil case against the president before he became the president, you can sue him now.
Yes.
Okay? If the president does something when he's the president, you have to wait after
His presidency.
Then you can sue him. So they made it very, very clear.
Very clear.
Okay? And to tell you the truth, we don't want to go to that line.
Exactly.
Yeah, what for? You get my point. 5 years or 10 years is not much. So if somebody has to answer for
charges,
whatever
he did.
Time will come.
Exactly.
And we have a lot of time also. You know.
Now, Khalifa, I want to get out. We can talk about this until the cows come back home. I want us to talk about the relationship with the president and his deputy. This is working out bad for Kenya, for the economy, and the social fabric of our society. Talk to me about this.
Okay. Now, with the new constitution, these people are elected in pair.
Yes.
Okay. The old constitution, it is the president who been elected. Then he chose the vice president. This is different.
Yes.
Okay. But now, let's go back to after we got independence between Jomo Kenyatta and Jaramogi. Yes. When Jaramogi saw things are not moving in the right direction, he told President, no, it will be wrong for me to sit here and earn salary that I cannot work.
I don't work for.
What for? He pulled out.
Yes.
I think Ruto should have done the same thing.
Are you sure?
Oh, 100%.
You can tell them who
Yes. If you disagree with your boss, walk away.
The best thing to do.
Just walk away. Stop this crying, I don't know. Of course, it is wrong for the government to
pull out
the security.
Yes,
you know.
it's petty, right?
Yeah, those are petty things. You know, I don't think it is right. But I think if Ruto disagree with the handshake and the way how the government is run, he should just walk away.
This should go down in the history of governance, because it only happens in Kenya. You see in other jurisdiction, it really happens.
Yeah, unfortunately. But another thing also, you remember Martha Karua with Kibaki, Minister of Constitution. She was really, yes. You know, even though people are accusing her, there's tribal clashes and everything, but when she saw things were going wrong, Martha Karua just resigned and Kibaki, bye-bye.
But Khelef, you see, according to Political Parties Act, these guys are promoting and seems to be doing and handling another party, and they're still on another party. This is a violation of Constitution.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so people are really out doing everything they did in disregard, absolute disregard.
You see, IEBC
yes.
should be in a position, you know, even to tell, because publicly, first of all, he says, I'm in UDA. And then he turns around and he says, no, I'm in Jubilee. You say, so you don't know which is which. But he branded himself, okay, as UDA. Okay. Now, that also, it violates the Election Act.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And I don't know why the IBC. By the way, we are taking IBC to court.
On which grounds?
You know, when the annulment of the last general election, before the Supreme Court pronounced and tell the IBC open the servers.
The servers.
And IBC did not open the servers. Okay, and that's a contempt.
Yes.
I have talked to some lawyers then. Now I'm talking to the lawyers now, and they said we have good grounds. Now we want IBC to come to court I said, why did they disobey the court ruling? Because direction, the court Maraga was very clear. He said the contention is about votes, about everything.
Yes.
Open the server so we know the truth.
Yes.
They didn't. Him and three other commissioners. Okay, and those people, if the court found them guilty, those guys will be shut out from any public job. Let me tell you.
Khelef, do you think the IBC and political parties does have these two institutions? Does they have the same teeth to bite?
No.
Do they need more?
No. Let me tell you, they don't. They don't. There's so much lean where the power is. Okay, because I remember Honorable Raila Odinga when he went to Bomas, and he says, because they were showing the counts on the television, and then they stopped it. Okay, and then he says, open those servers, let the counts be seen by everybody, and I will accept defeat right here.
Now.
They didn't. You know why? Because the election was rigged.
Exactly.
Election was rigged.
If they were sure, they could have opened the servers.
Absolutely. Right? Elections were rigged. So that is the problem.
So we need to go back and revisit this Political Parties Act, and IBC need to be empowered to act.
You see, Chibukati was a lawyer here in Mombasa.
Yes.
And we know
I remember him.
very, very, very well. He was here in Mombasa for many, many years. Okay, and I've got nothing to do, against Chibukati. I have nothing to do against Martha Koome either, because in the 90s, we fought the second liberation together.
I remember, yes. Yes.
Okay. But when what is right and what is wrong is wrong. So sometimes you have to be principled, even to the people that you admire. You see, I very much admire Raila Odinga.
Yes.
We were in Okowa, Kenya together. We fought up together since 90s. But this handshake, I said, no, there's something wrong with this handshake. And apart
yes.
And then he got shocked. He saw my name went court already against, you see. But I said, wait a minute.
It's about conscience.
It's about conscience.
Yes.
Yeah. And I don't want to compromise my dignity on anything. I'll stand straight.
Exactly. Now, right now, as we're speaking, Kioni's committee, which is the Constitution Implementation Oversight Committee, is working out how to change the Constitution, to review the Constitution, especially the Chapter 9 of the presidency, so that the president can have powers to fire the deputy president, because they're being elected as a unit.
Yeah.
Which seems there's a problem with Chapter 9 of the Constitution.
Yes.
The president doesn't have powers to fire, so he can be woggled and toggled around the way the deputy is playing games around with him.
Correct. And there is a meaning why. Because since Kenya got independence, the vice president, he is there working the whims of the president.
Yes.
Akiteleza kidogo, he'll be kicked out.
Yes.
Now, this constitution says no.
There were caveats had to...
Exactly. He said, no, you cannot fire this guy.
Yes.
So he can have teeth. Okay, if he says something wrong, he says, no, this something is wrong. Okay, and his boss cannot fire him because they were elected in pairs.
Yes.
Okay, so if they want to go to parliament to change that section, then we go back to court. Because
it seems the BBI is not going through, and whoever is sitting the chair of that committee is a pro-BBI.
Yeah, let them do it, and we'll fight them out.
Regardless of the way it is.
Let me tell you, when you mess around with the Constitution and you think people won't stand up to challenge you, then you are deadly wrong.
Challenging and talking about the Constitution, this government has violated court orders day in, day out. Talk of Miguna, talk of the appointments of principal secretary, talk of anyone else. Where do we start from here, or where do we end from here?
Now, there is a payback, let me tell you. There'll come a time, okay, people will go to court and revisit all these things. And people who, even Matiang'i himself will be in a problem.
Yes.
Because he violated a lot of court orders.
Yes.
Okay, countless. And they shouldn't do that. There will come a time he will be held responsible. Okay? Government has all the machinery. They can disobey court orders. They can do
jump laws and do whatever they want.
Yeah, but Kenyans, the problem, Kenyans
forget too fast.
Forget too fast, and they're very easily swayed because of money, tribalism, and we don't stand up to defend this constitution.
Exactly.
We don't stand and defend this constitution. And once you don't stand and defend the constitution, then you're gone.
We don't have any.
We don't have anything.
We are degenerating to a banana republic.
Absolutely.
It's very fearful. I want to talk about something which is really down to your heart. Where you all began this, the extrajudicial killings, and of course, just arbitrary arresting of people. Just a few days ago, the whole Kenya and the world complained over. It was like a drill. It was like a drama which happened at the Koni Ferry. How arbitrative was this? How can you figure this out? Because this is not happening for the first time, right?
Let me tell you, that was a drill.
You're kidding
me.
Oh,
that
please.
Was the fact.
Khelef, tell me this is not true.
Let me tell you. They said they were following those guys
from Lunga.
From Lunga. Okay?
Yes.
And they let them pass all the way, about 110 kilometers, all the way till the ferry.
Yes.
Because ferry, you'll have everybody watching.
Exactly.
And this is what they wanted.
Yes.
Okay? Now, they pull them out from Probox.
The Probox.
And then what we saw is shock. AK-27, I don't know. Terrorists don't carry those things. Terrorists carry bombs.
Yes, detonating system.
Those AK-47, they've been parading those same guns every place they go and raid. Every place they go.
Please, Khelef, are you kidding me?
Let me tell you, Moses.
Yes.
The law is very clear.
Yes.
Once you arrest a person, you have 24
hours to present him to court. Yes.
Now we said, if they have evidence,
yes,
why they fail to take him to court? He's not the only one. The other week, the guy from Mlangwa Papa.
Yes.
They've got all evidence.
Yes.
Take them to court. Why? So once you don't take them to court, I'm telling you, it means it's a lie. Now let me give you one very good example. Everybody knows who is Abu Drogo.
Yes.
You see, Abu Drogo has been accused of so many Kikambala, so many. And he had a lot of cases. Abu Drogo was in jail for almost 2 or 3 years.
In Manyani.
Okay? When Abu Drogo appears in court, let me tell you, the court itself, it's not even full. Okay? Abu Drogo, he only had 2 mosques. One in Kisauni and
one in
Majengo.
Yes. Msikiti
Musa.
Yes.
Only that in Mombasa Island. The rest of the mosque was banned. Okay? Now for a TPU, it's Muslims. All of us are guilty. Now the day they killed Abu Drogo extrajudicially, you know what happened? Almost 11 people died.
Yes, I remember that.
The Muslims said, wait a minute. When the guy was taken to court, nobody bothered about Abu Drogo. Okay? But now you killed him extrajudicially. Now people said, now you're targeting us.
Yes.
Okay? Now all of these disappearances, what is happening?
Arbitrary arrestings.
Arbitrary arresting, and then people don't show up. They are nowhere to be seen. Now, Muslim community feels that
we are targeted.
Okay? And that is very bad.
Yes.
Now let me tell you. Maybe you might tell me, I've passed my 70-something years.
Yes, I know.
If I was a teen, let's say 20 years, 23 years, and JCU comes to my, TPU comes to my house and take my father or my brother without knowing the reason, Moses, you know what? I will cross the border and go to Al-Shabaab and join Al-Shabaab. I will do that. Human reaction is different.
Yes.
Some will act differently, others will act differently. Okay? But what the government is doing, they are pushing people to go across and get training. Okay? But once the law is being followed to the tilt, everybody will remember, says, okay, the government is doing its job.
But let me ask you something. Do you feel you, as a Kenyan, as a governance expert, as a civil society guy, as a Muslim, do you feel Muslims are targeted?
Yes.
Because of terrorism?
Yes.
Do you think they're terrorists?
Yes. If they are
Do you
terrorists.
think they're terrorists?
Yes.
What makes you feel that?
Because
You
they
are
are.
listen, you know the reason why I like talking to you, because of your principle and religious thinking. I've read your writings, and I've read the comments that are coming down. You usually divert and really disagree with people on religious aspects, on principle. What makes you feel that these guys are targeted and they're not terrorists, and if they're terrorists for real?
Very simple.
Yes.
If the government follow the law,
Yes.
then they are not targeted. If they don't follow the law, then they are targeted. If the government has any evidence, what stops them
From taking them to court?
If they don't, it means they don't have. That's why they're making all this. Now, remember, these guys have been funded by West. And they want to show that they are working. And what surprises me, the whole of this year, there was no terrorist.
Exactly. Attacks.
Nothing.
Yeah.
But now,
All of a sudden,
ritual killings, now they're coming up. And you wonder why. Question mark. What's happening? Okay? Because when it is lull, those guys also are keeping their money in their pocket. Now these guys want that money. And mind you, there is Mossad, there is CIA, and MI6.
Yes.
There was a report by Namir Shabir, a BBC reporter, and he made it very, very clear. Okay? Even some of those extrajudicial killings, the ATPU themselves says it was by mistake. They don't even offer an apology.
Of the same.
The same. And that is wrong. That's why I said anything which is unlawful to us, those guys are innocent. But if he's been taken to court and he's been sentenced even to life, it's his choice. Let me tell you. Because to commit a crime is your choice. But choices have consequences.
Let me be the devil's advocate on this, or let me just twist the other side of the coin. Do you think everyone who listen? I've done a lot of research and I've really looked into this. Not all Muslims cross to the other side of the border. Even non-Muslims, I've seen that happen. Do you think it is this targeting that makes them cross, or poverty also make them cross? Or the other things that make these guys become what they become? The lucrativity on the other side.
Okay, look, let's go back to the history.
Yes.
Kenya was hit by international terrorism long time before Al-Shabaab, long time.
Yes.
Okay? But the target, it was Western interests. Never targeted Kenyan interests.
Yes.
In
For the
Kenyan
African interest.
Nothing. It was the Israelis, the British, the Americans. Never target Kenyan interest. Until Kibaki and Raila make it possible for KDF to cross
to
border to
Somalia.
Somalia. And
Because of, and you brought a very important, because of the Kenyan interest, or because of personal interest, or because of the Western interest?
Look, the reason why there was a kidnapping of a French tourist, a disabled French tourist in Lamu, and another British tourist. That prompted Kenya to send its KDF. But mind you, Kenyans have been killing themselves here. Every single day there is killing.
Yes.
From the police, from themselves, from everything. Why so special? Because two white Europeans, and you're sending the whole battalion to cross to another country, in which you're not even fighting a government, you're fighting people that you don't know where are they. Okay? And Al-Shabaab, they were saying, these Kenyan troops, KDF, are committing atrocities in our country, raping our women, and all those kind of things. And Kenyan press was not free. It's not free because they don't even report what is happening there. What is reported, it's what KDF give it to them. Okay? So probably what Al-Shabaab is saying is true. These guys are committing. Even UN report that KDF walishirikiana na Al-Shabaab to so the business of shackle to Dubai and then importation of sugar. That is UN.
I saw that report, and even I think Midiwo alluded the same in Parliament.
Yes.
So, what is this coalition of Kenyan government and the foreign militaries to stabilize Somalia? Do you feel that the destabilization of Somalia is as a result of colonialism or foreign interference?
Look, Kenya wouldn't have dare
go to Somalia.
Never.
But they were protecting their interests.
No. They're protecting the West interests.
You're kidding.
Because those Amazon, who pays? It's Europeans and Americans.
Yes.
Okay? Mm-hmm. Now they want to prevent a global jihadist not to come to Somalia and train, then go back to their country and hit them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're very interested in Afghanistan and Somalia. It's not about the interests of Somalia, let me tell you. It's not.
Is the resources?
Pardon?
Is it the resources?
No, because once a country like that, then it can attract global jihadists to come over there and train, and sometimes they go back to France and England and America and hit their target. That is why they want to prevent. Now, Kenyan forces and all this, they are not there because of the Somalis, let me tell you. They are not there because of the Somalis. They are there for the interest of the Western countries.
But Khelef, you need to realize, I think for my viewpoint, or as a journalist, or for your viewpoint as a governance expert, do you think when Somalia is destabilized, we are safe?
We're not safe, but we can secure our borders rather than going inside. You know how many people died? How many? Mm-hmm. Hundreds of soldiers died?
Yes.
Do you know how many civilians died since KDF crossed over to Somalia? You see, Americans, when they shot up that helicopter, Apache helicopter,
yes.
and about 6 Americans, one of them were dragged in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately, Americans pulled its troops out. Pull! Our forces died hundreds, and we're still there. We don't want to go out. Do we think about our soul, really? No, we don't.
We think about the interest.
That's it. Those young men, they don't even, some of them, they even hide how many people died.
Because it took the government spokesman pains to explain how many people died the other time.
And Americans, you remember in suicide bomb during the presidency of, Reagan?
Yes.
In Beirut?
Yes.
240, Americans died. Mm-hmm. American pulled its troop immediately.
Al-Ade. Yes, in Somalia. Yes, Al-Ade. Yes.
The president of Somalia, he said that 240, Kenyan troops died. KDF didn't even say anything. They just No, that's not right. That's not right. Something is wrong.
So it's more than the foreign interest and resource than the interest of the.
Absolutely.
Now, Khelef, we are running out of time. Yes. I want us to talk about Afghanistan. Is Taliban able to stabilize the governance system in the nation?
That is their business. It's not the business of Americans or the West.
But they're there to help.
Help what?
They have the interest,
Let me tell you.
Yes.
They have been there for 20 years.
Yes, a decade now.
Okay?
Yes.
We have done this. You cannot enforce democracy to people that they are not democratic.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy in Europe, it evolved for 800 years to be what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Now they point fingers to us, Africans, others. They want us to be like them. It took them 800 years, to
evolve to what they are today.
Exactly. Okay? Let Afghanistan do whatever they want to do. It's none of your business. Now, they're talking about women's rights. Americans are pulling out. Women, they will never go to school. But they're not counting over 1 million people, Afghans and Iraqis, died because of that war. died.
But truth be told, Khelef, you can realize when the Americans came in and the NATO came in and the French came in, at least there was stabilization of school going girls were going to school, women were working, people were working, the economy was working out. But right now, check what's happening. Talk to me. How long will it take for these guys to build this nation?
Moses,
Yes.
if they want to help the people of Afghanistan to be democratic, to be, let them help black Americans in the United States. What right do they have? Why you jump to 10,000 miles away?
Yes.
When your own people, you treat them like trash.
Yes.
No, people should stop this nonsense. Let them look at their own. They cannot afford even Obamacare.
Yes.
You see, countries in South America which are very poor,
Exactly.
medical is guaranteed. America say no.
Yes.
You see why? Because many poor people, majority are blacks. So if you're sick, you don't have my friend, you can die. They don't give a damn. You see, let them give that rights to the American people, black Americans first in the United States
Before they jump to Afghanistan.
to other countries.
But look here, why? Because truth be told, Afghanistan is majorly an Islam nation. But first of all, why are these guys living in droves if Taliban has the best governance system?
They do what?
If Taliban has the best governance system, why are these guys living in droves? Because they're crossing Pakistan, others are being airlifted to Uganda just the other day, others are crossing to other bordering countries. Why? If Taliban is offering the best governance system.
Let me tell you, they have been there for 20 years.
Yes.
And those are the people who are collaborating with the American forces and the British and the NATO. You get my point?
Yes.
So they are afraid because they were collaborating.
Oh, yes.
So that is the only reason.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Because they were collaborating with an enemy. Even Americans, you see, when America was fighting Japan, okay, American Japanese were all detained. They were put in concentration camps. You get my point? So these things are happening. They are pointing fingers to Afghanistan. Americans did the same. They arrested all Japanese Americans when they were fighting in Second World War and they were fighting Japanese. So, you see, American cannot be a prefect of the world, you see.
The global police.
And America is playing double standard. Look what is happening in Gaza. Look what is happening in Palestine. What Israel is doing in those... and America is oblivious what is happening.
But look,
all these violations.
But look here, Hezbollah, Hamas, all this has been written down, has been listed as a terrorist organization. Talk to me about this.
Yeah. Mau also. See, South Africa was the same. Yes.
And who lists these people onto the terrorist list anyway, by the way?
Ask the West. Ask them.
What are the grades?
Let me tell you.
Yes.
America has judicial system which is very good. Let me tell you.
That's true.
Okay? But only in American territory.
Yes, not outside.
Once they go outside, they violate every aspect of their law. Guantanamo Bay. Why Guantanamo Bay? President Obama, he tried, but he couldn't because the Senate and the Congress, they were against it. Because once those guys are transferred to American territory, they have to abide by American laws. There are people 20 years without a trial.
Yes.
The same America that pointing fingers to us, Africans, to Afghanistanis, and the rest of the world. Okay? But they are the biggest violators of international law.
When they're outside their country.
When they're outside their own country.
Khalif, I want you to look at Afghanistan outside the lens of religion, but inside the lens of the governance system. Where is Afghanistan going in the next few days?
They have estimated Afghanistan has mineral underneath.
Yes.
To the tune of over $3 trillion.
Yes.
So when you see Americans moving into that place, It is not because of Afghanistanis or fighting for the rights of Afghanistan women.
Yes.
No, Wanalengo.
Yes.
They already see very far.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, nobody can conquer in the history in Afghanistan and stayed. They'll be defeated.
Mm-hmm.
British were defeated. Russians were defeated. And Americans now, they've been defeated. With people of nothing.
So do you want to tell me that the interests of the Americans have been served, that's why they're living?
You can't fight people who believe on their own religion, who believe on themselves. You know, you can't travel all the way from wherever you come trying to democratize people while you're dying. You see, that is, and those guys are very
Religious.
Resilience.
Yes, is that
They've
resilient?
got time. Okay, they've got passion. They've got courage.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, you can stay here, but one day you'll go out. And it took them exactly 20 years.
I want you to. There's something I'm not getting from your talk. I want you to look at Afghanistan outside religion and look at in a governance kind of way. The Americans are out. The Americans out. Just 2 days ago, the ISIS did hit the Abbey Gate and that hotel. Do you think Taliban is setting ground for terrorist brooding?
We don't know what would happen, eh?
Exactly.
But even when you listen to the American president,
Yes.
Biden,
Yes.
they were expecting something like this was going to happen.
Yes. They were
Even
anticipating that.
Taliban themselves, okay? Because, you know, people were, into thousands, were rushing to the airport, okay? And any terrorist that wants to hit hard, that is the target.
The target.
And they were suspecting something is going to happen, and it did happen.
Yes.
But surprisingly, they did not point fingers to Taliban.
Yes. The
Okay?
ISIS. They took.
And
yes.
mind you, ISIS and Taliban, they are against each
conflicted,
other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all this, you know, Al Qaeda,
Yes.
ISIS, these are Americans. If it was not an American foreign policy, they would have never been Hezbollah.
American
and
foreign
all
policy?
this. Oh yes.
Why do you say American foreign policy?
Yeah,
What is all about
because it's
American foreign
standards.
policy?
You see, it's about I'm telling you, every problem of the Middle East or global terrorism, it has a root in Israel.
Oh, don't say this.
Moses, there are laws in the United States
Yes.
that you can criticize and insult anybody in the United States, but you're not supposed to insult or interests of Israel. But you can do anything against the American government, but you cannot do it against Israel.
Khelef, before I end this, we have a few minutes to talk about this. Who is funding Taliban? Because they cannot have such kind of ammunition and such kind of artillery. Biden said they didn't see that coming. They didn't anticipate the fast, swift coming in of the Taliban. Do you know how these people funded?
I don't know.
Ghana.
I wish I know. But I tell you, even the Americans doesn't know.
Yes, because I
If they
heard the
know,
president, yes.
they will hit you wherever
Yes.
you are. Killing American soldiers.
It's not easy.
They will hit you. They don't know. They don't know. I'm telling you. They don't know. And you cannot fight people that they are so determined. And look, I was listening to, after this bomb blast, which kills about, 100,
Yes.
13 Americans, and Biden says, we will hunt you.
Yes.
You will. Those guys, they are suicide bombers. They don't care about death. You are telling them you're going to kill them. You know? And the mentality is, if you are killed in war, we go
Bring it
to
out.
heaven, my friend. So they don't care. So who cares?
So talk to me about this, because a lot of the Middle East countries, like talk about Afghanistan, you talk about the governance system. Though we talk about Turkey, but the civil rights in Turkey is just wanting. Erdogan is out for journalists. I know there's another guy in America who stays in America. The civil disobedience in these nations are rampant and now ceasing. Now that Afghanistan is destabilized, I don't know how this is going to be handled. What is the way forward from here, Khelef? That is my biggest worry.
No, you don't have to worry about anything. Let me tell you. If you have to worry, let us worry in our own country.
Yes.
When our president publicly, he says we are losing 2 billion shillings per day.
Every day.
Through corruption and mismanagement. Okay? The West always pump money to this country. Not for the sake of us. Because they indebted us so much.
Yes.
Everything has to be paid.
Yes.
You know, they don't tell this government, says, listen, if you don't stop corruption, and we stop our money. Okay? But they don't do that. So these Western nations, they are not working for the people. They're working for their interests to maintain this government always to go back and
beg.
And beg for you know. Look, you go to Zaire and Congo and see how much minerals every single day been.
Yes.
Airlift. I went to Goma one time. Every few minutes, plane are flying.
Carrying
and the
minerals.
country is so poor. You know, there was one senator in Italy. She was castigating the French government. He said, you are the reason why boat people are coming here to Italy and Europe. Because you go to Mali, you extract uranium and build what do you call what do you call when you build this for lights and everything? What do you call them? Anyway, using that uranium to light French cities.
Well, street lights, yes.
Well, Chad is 90% dark.
Yes.
Okay, you go over there and extract all the minerals for your benefit, and the people are poor. So these people, for them to decide to come to our country, you see, I'm telling you, it is their right. And I hope they will go even more.
Khelef,
always tit for tat.
I wish we had the whole day to talk about this. I wish I'm going to bring you back. I hope you're going to call you back again. We talk more about governance. Our time is really up. What's your last word?
My last word?
Yes.
I want to tell this nation.
Yes.
And the people of this nation.
Yes.
The Constitution, and especially the Bill of Rights, that is the thing that you have to think about it.
Yes.
Forget about your tribe. Forget about your president.
Yes.
Forget about your anything. If you stick to the Constitution and make sure the government follow this Constitution, this country can be a first world country. I'm telling you, in 25 years.
I cannot let you go until you give me your what is your hyperbole telling you? What is that telling you? Wait, who is 2020? Who's the president? Who are you seeing taking the mantle of this nation in 2022?
You see, when I look at the front runners,
yes,
I remember Moi.
Yes.
He says, Kanu will rule another 100 years.
Yes.
Now, when I see Musyoka, Kanu. When I see Wetangula, he was there. When I see Uhuru Kenyatta, was there. Ruto was there. All of them
were there.
All of them were there. So
all these are Kanu orphanages.
Kanu orphanage.
Whoever picks it up, it is Kanu.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Khelef Khalifa, for honoring me and being part of my show. And I hope when you get from the Supreme Court, I'll call you back here. We talk more about this.
Thank you very much. I really
Thank you so much. That was Khelef Khalifa, and we were talking a lot about governance system, Afghanistan, BBI, talk about extrajudicial killing. It was awesome. Great to have him around. A very humble guy. I love his principle. I read much more about his writing, and he's just a humble guy. Until next time, tomorrow I'll be here right doing sports from exactly 15 hours, and I hope you're going to join me. Until tomorrow, my name is KKRP. I love you. Keep it here. Keeping Breast Drive. I'll keep on driving you home.